Do you know why people become vegan? It's because we learn too much. We learn more information than our brain can handle. So for different people, that amount can be different. The kind of content you see can be different. So for some people, just the baby chicks stuff is enough to make them not want to eat chicken anymore. And sometimes it's like the cow carnage that really gets people. But if it's something you've been wondering about, like, oh, maybe I should become a vegan, it's very simple. Just watch the movies that vegans make to get people to become vegan, where you actually get to see the stuff that happens. That'll make you become a vegan. And if a person can get through all that and not want to be a vegan, there's something wrong with them. That person's not okay. I like my fuzz. I grew my fuzz all by myself. Being a vegan is hard. No one pretends that it's easy. Or if they do pretend it's easy, it's because they're rich. Because, yeah, I guess everything's easier when you're fucking rich. Like, give me a fucking break. But it doesn't have to be difficult, per se, because you know you're doing something so wonderful. That's the reason why it's like the trade-off is worth it. It's like, yeah, the momentary enjoyment you get out of eating something. At some point you realize the amount of abuse that went into making that very short time period happen of you eating it. Because we want to believe, so we do believe that dairy and meat are good for our bodies. And that's what the government wants us to believe. But dairy and meat are actually really bad for us. And they really increase our risk of cancer because there's so many carcinogens. And I understand people get confused about the protein thing, but if you're not sure where your protein is going to come from, it's probably going to come from the same place a cow's protein comes from. Because what's the cow eat? A cow's full of protein, right? They give everybody protein when people eat them. But where does the cow get all their protein? They get them from vegetables, from plants. That's where vegans get their protein. We don't have a problem with protein because our food has the most amount of digestible protein out of all the foods. Because when you're eating meat protein, you're not eating healthy, digestible vegetable protein. You're eating already partially processed protein that came from the plant that the animal ate. So you're not even eating healthy proteins as you do when you eat plants. It's all really simple. There's a few videos on, like, there's documentaries on Netflix you can watch, or at least two, and this was like 5 years ago, so there's probably more now. But there's the Game Changers, which is, I would say, represents more of my generation or younger. But if you're older than me and you're more about general health and not about your penis, because they do talk about your penis in the Game Changers and how a vegan diet really does make your penis life better, because that's what people fucking care about. But if you actually give a shit about a lot of other health implications, then the movie, I'm going to put it right here on the screen because I don't remember what it's called right now. Anyway, it's going to bug me that I can't remember, but anyway, being a vegan is worth it. I don't understand, like, people who are kind of like indecisive and they feel like maybe they should become a vegetarian or maybe should become a vegan. Anything you do is better than nothing. So if you just have one meal a week that you have that's vegetarian or vegan, that's something to celebrate. That's something that if you told your vegetarian or vegan friend about, like, yeah, like I eat one meal a week that's vegetarian or vegan or whatever on purpose, so that way I'm a little bit more conscious about what I take into my body and what I do to the animals and whatever. Um, and of course, like, veganism isn't perfect. No one is trying to imply that it's perfect, and people can have like devil's arguments all day. I'm just mixing metaphors. And it doesn't matter. No one gives a shit. I don't care. Like, you can talk your way out of anything. Like, don't be a vegan for other people. Be a vegan for yourself. It's not fucking complicated, okay? It's actually really simple. And the fact that there's so much food now in regular supermarkets, I get it if you live someplace remote, like a remote part of Alaska, that could be complicated. But it's still not impossible. It's still like, you still have to eat fruits and vegetables. And if you don't eat those things, then I don't know what kind of weird ass upbringing you had, but that's fucked up. I don't know what else to say about that.